welcome to the JCPod. I'm your host, JCP, or Jaden Chandler Parnell. Hey, this is going to be the definition, no hesitation, hopping right in. So Lamar Jackson's going to be a Colt. He requested his trade yesterday, and the more I've thought about it, the more I just can't help but think that he's going to end up a Colt. I really hope he does, honestly, though. In all seriousness, is he going to end up a Colt? I really don't know. By the way, side note, I'm dealing with the sickness, so I'm going to sound like shit for probably this week's episodes, maybe next week's. I'm on the verge of sickness. I'm not sick. I just can feel it starting to come on, so I'm trying to fill myself up with as much vitamin C as I can. So if I sound like shit, maybe I sound a little better. That's why. As you can see, just for the background today, just having the two teams up for the Final Four, just cause. No specific reason. I didn't know what else to put on today. MLB opening days upcoming as well, so maybe I'll just scroll through to show some of the lines. But it's the usual Monday, so what that means is NFL news and then some March Madness stuff. The Packers champs of the Jets first rounder not necessary for the Rodgers deal, so that just tells me that basically the Packers lost some of their whatever leverage they thought they had, so now they're saying it's going to be a little less. So that's going to be interesting to see because Rodgers still isn't a Packer. I wonder if that's going to happen after the trade deadline or what. Or not the trade deadline, after the NFL draft or what. Back to Lamar real quick. Lamar requesting a trade, that's very huge news. So basically, from what he made it sound like, from what I'm understanding, he requested a trade I want to say a few days ago, up to a week ago. He's like, hey, I'm going to request a trade, and it's been kind of quiet, and nothing ever happened. And then all of a sudden, Jim Harbaugh, I believe it's Jim Harbaugh, I always mix up him and his brother John. But Harbaugh was basically talking to the media, and then all of a sudden, boom, Lamar, within his second question, Lamar asked for a trade, so he had to answer on the spot. Very, very, very good by Lamar to put it out then, so that way it has to get talked about from the coach and everything. Obviously, the coach wants him to stay. It's more the front office. Yeah, so now Lamar's asking for be a free agent, and I really don't. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Chris Ballard said Colts will consider trading really special Lamar. The fact that he had the really special makes me think that they should be. I just don't know what they're going to trade him for. I would hate for them to give up the number 4 pick for him who's not going to play. But, I mean, just thinking about him and, he's a proven name. The thing for me is, I do want the Colts to kind of go young. I want them to be able to groom a young guy. But sorry about that. I had a little bit of issue. But no, I don't know. I don't know what's going to take to trade for him, though, if they do that. So it's just, and just with their history of picking bad quarterbacks, it just sucks, man. For 4 years, I've been dealing with this. For 4 years, I've had a different quarterback starting every year, and it's just man, they need to get a small guy to maybe stop it, or get a young guy, to stop it, so they can finally groom and grow somebody instead of learning a new system every single year. But man, Lamar is just too special, man. So I hope they get him. I hope we'll see, but yeah. And then back to what I was saying about that, he apparently requested it in early March, and then they didn't do something, or I don't know. Very interesting. 49ers GM said that Purdy earned the right to start over Lance. So I don't know. Interesting. I don't know if he's going to be ready. I don't know if Lance is going to be ready to start week 1. So that's going to be a very interesting battle. Lamar could end up to the Niners. Their run scheme, I would not put that out of. I don't know what's going to happen with their QB situation. Injuries just kind of screwed them over. The Eagles want to finalize the Hurts extension really soon, which is not shocking, so they can get ahead of paying him because that's the big issue right now is paying the quarterbacks and how much they're owed. McCarthy said the Cowboys are absolutely open to an Elliott reunion, which makes me think he might probably go back to take a pay cut. The original it said the Jets, the Broncos. I think it's somebody else. Jets, Bengals, and Eagles. The Cowboys have nearly $10 million by releasing him. It wouldn't be. I could see him coming back though. That's not something that would be the most shocking. McDermott's going to be the play caller for the Bills in 2023. Very interesting. Now he's taking over for Leslie, who now is taking the year off. So it's going to be very interesting to see how much their defense has changed. I know he's, I want to say, originally when he first took over as head coach, he controlled the defense a little bit and it was good, but I could have been wrong about that. So I do remember I do respect it. So I'm very interested to see how he's going to do as D coordinator, because head coach D coordinator is a little hard role, but I think he'd be able to handle it. Chargers respectful of Eckler amid stalled contract talks, trade ass. So I don't think, which they should be. Eckler's done a lot for them. I think they should try to get him back. I'm not going to get into it. I'll have to talk. I'm going to talk about it in a whole different episode, I think. I'm going to add that to another story. This whole running back market situation, shocking. People are signing one-year deals for $2 million, getting like Dante Foreman after an awesome year last year is barely getting the veteran minimum. That whole contract talks when it comes to that situation, yeah, running backs are just getting kind of screwed over. Sykin said he won't name a starter. Minshew's just there to compete. I think that's true. If there's a rookie, they might let Minshew start. Say they draft Anthony Richardson, give him a little time, or they draft somebody else and they think he's just not ready. Maybe give him a little bit. But I think he's going to be a backup. I think it's just him coming out and saying that. Honestly, excuse me. The Broncos are not trading Jerry Jeudy and Sutton, which basically, to me, means they didn't get enough of what they wanted for them. I think if they would have got maybe like 2-3 first-round picks for one of the receivers, or obviously that's a lot, and I don't think they would do that. But if they were able to get a decent amount of picks for somebody good, I think they would have been open to trading him, but I just don't think they got. It. Bobby Wagner's returning to the Seahawks on a one-year deal. And it's just weird that he even left for a year now. He would have just stayed with the Seahawks the whole time, but he left for a year, maybe to ring chase, and then the Rams just went awful, so he went back. Weird situation last year for him. That's going to be one of those things when you look back on his career, you'll be like, damn, he was a Ram for? Because I think he potentially retires as a Seahawk now, since he came back. Obviously, there's still a chance he could not, but this is going to be, for sure, one of the things you look at, it's like, damn, he was a Ram for a year. Andy Reid said they won't expect Sky Moore to step up more after losing Juju Smith-Schuster, McCole Hardman, which makes sense. He didn't have the biggest role last year, but it gave him some time to learn. He really needs to figure that out. Lazard, confident Rodgers deal will get through. I'm pretty sure the Packers are going to trade into the Jets. They're just trying to get as much compensation as they can. I feel like the Jets are kind of walking them back a little bit, being like, you ain't taking all that from us. So I think it's just like the Packers are asking for a little bit too much. The Jets are backing down. The Packers are trying to see how much they can get before they finally just say, fine, take him. Yeah, the way that sounds, they're pretty much done with him. So the Panthers traded Zane Gonzalez. They traded a kicker. That's interesting. For 2025 draft. For late round picks. Interesting. That's an interesting trade a kicker for picks. Obviously, I'm not against it. And I'm not saying it in bad or anything, but... By the way, you just saw the line move in UConn's favor as we're talking. I know you saw that little green flicker. That's going to be... I'll talk about these games in a minute, but the fact that the line's already moving a little bit in Miami's favor makes me a little happy, and it's right back. I mean, it just moved again. It's right back up to a plus 190. I think I like UConn in the game, but I'm definitely probably going to hedge and take a little bit of Miami action. I have a ticket on UConn to win it all, so... If I throw 10 or 20 on Miami and then they win, that evens out a little bit. So we'll get to that in a minute. Calais Campbell's set to visit with the Bills and Jets. Good defender. I mean, the Bills, that'd be an awesome pick up there. We'll get him in the middle of Jets. That'd be even better for them as deep as they are on defense. Eagles are signing Terrell Edmonds to a one-year contract. Panthers are signing DJ Chark from the Lions. Ravens are signing Aguilar to a one-year deal. Eagles extend Lane Johnson through 2026, and they add $33 million to his deal. Brady joined the ownership group of the WNBA Aces. The only reason I announced this is I think we're going to see a lot more of this where, former athletes, I think we're already starting to see it now, but a lot more in the NFL, especially with the big money quarterbacks you're getting, of more former athletes trying to get a little partial ownership in other businesses. We've been seeing it for a while, but I think it's slowly going to be growing and growing until eventually... For example, get LeBron owning a Las Vegas team or shit like that. I think eventually, it's going to come to the point where eventually a player's going to own a team. Obviously, Michael Jordan owns the Hornets, but you see how bad the Hornets are. I'm talking about owning a team and being successful. Nothing against Michael. Michael Jordan still is. I'm not going to discredit him for anything he did as a player, but as an owner, those Hornets have not been that competitive, and I don't know if that's him or what, but. It's going to be interesting to see if a player can finally get, full ownership, a majority stake. Michael Jordan can be in the GM, and I'm going to check this before I... Okay, so Michael Jordan is the Hornets owner. I just want to make sure. I don't know why I thought GM for a second, but... Yeah, basically, I think that more players are going to get a chance to go into ownership and do well, but it's just depending on... Yeah, it's just going to depend on... who the person is, and depends on the situation, I guess. Because, I mean, I know the Hornets aren't the best situation, but yikes. DeAndre Hopkins still kind of, it makes it sound like he's going to be, it kind of makes it sound like he's going to be, I don't know where he's going to end up. He's still a Cardinal for right now, but I don't know where he's going to end up. The Giants signed Jamison Crowder, not shocking. Something that was, it's really sad, but it's really awesome that Foster Moreau has happened to step away from the NFL because he was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. Due to that, the Raiders signed Hooper to a one-year deal, but off Foster Moreau, he was going on for a scan to get tested for just going into a physical, basically, I think, to see if he could move on to a team or just stuff like that, and they ended up finding Hodgkin's lymphoma. So, awesome story that they were able to find it, but just sucks that he has it. Obviously, so hopefully speedy recovery to him, but yet again, it was awesome they were able to catch it early. Hopefully, he'll be able to fully recover. Jets traded Elijah Moore to the Browns. This was maybe to get draft compensation for Aaron Rodgers. We'll have to see. Billionaire Steve Apostopoulos joins the list for the Commander bidders. We're going to see if the Commanders ever get sold. At this rate, it doesn't seem like they will. Something funny, if you didn't hear last week, Big Ben got pursued by the 49ers to play quarterback when they went down. He didn't end up doing it, obviously, but there's going to be a lot of that for a while now, where there's probably going to be 2 or 3 years where they text Big Ben, like, hey, do you want to play a game for, like, 2-3 weeks so you can help us out? Russ underwent knee surgery. He should be good by OTAs. I don't know what that did. Probably just cleaned something off. Cowboys re-signed Dante Fowler to a one-year deal, and then I think it was happening as I got off yesterday. If not, Dante Hightower retired. I think I talked about it, so I'm not going to touch on it too much. Also, yeah, by the way, speaking of sickness, today's episode's going to be a little bit shorter because it's my throat's been a little scratchy, so I'm dying right now, so I'm going to try to make this a little bit shorter so it's not as bad on me, but hopefully we can get back to normal here soon. The biggest story of the day today, obviously, is Lamar Jackson. It might be a COLT. I really don't know where he's going to sign. Obviously, he could just sit out a year if he doesn't sign the deal. He could end up back with the Ravens if they beat Petty and don't want to trade, but no, I think if they get the right price, they'll definitely be open to trading him. But I don't know, man. It's just every year in free agency, that's where it gets like more and more interesting, and then it's just like more big names go, more big names go. This is a very interesting free agency year. Like, we're about to have Rodgers and Lamar Jackson potentially move, both going to the AFC. I have futures on the Colts to win the Super Bowl. That's 10 to win 2K. Is it going to happen? Probably not. But if Lamar goes, I tell you what, I'm going to be really excited about the odds because I got some of the best odds I'm going to get. But no, I really hope he does go to the Colts. I don't know where he's going to end up personally. Everywhere I'm hearing, like, I'm not trying to be an optimistic Colts fan and being like a blind Colts fan. A lot of places I'm hearing is that the Colts are the number one choice, and I'm trying my hardest to be a realist and understand that there's a real chance, and most likely he's not going to end up there. But if he does end up there, I mean, I told one of my friends, I'm buying a jersey right away. You'll see me one of the next few shows after he gets picked or drafted. Jesus. One of the former shows when he gets traded, one of the next shows is coming up, like first or second show after he gets traded, you'll be seeing me wearing an 8 in Colts blue, baby, because that would be awesome if they got him. And yet again, I hope they get somebody in the draft as well, but with how low they are in the draft, it might not be the person I want. So it's like, I'm torn. So I think personally for me, I'm just going to ride with my hopes and keep a little hope out for Lamar because he's young and I could do a few years with Lamar. That'd be pretty awesome. But we'll have to see because obviously, I don't know what's going to happen in that situation. All right, so now that we're moving on to we're going to move on to some college basketball. It ended. Awesome weekend of college basketball last weekend. Awesome games. Florida Atlantic, as you see, we got Florida Atlantic playing San Diego State, and then Miami versus UConn in the Final Four. UConn is a clear runaway favorite. If you look at national champions, they're minus 125. Florida Atlantic up there at plus 600. Miami at plus 490. If you look at the women's, sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Here's the women's right here. These are what the odds are looking at. But yeah, back to the men's real quick. I can touch on the women's briefly in a second. I have the ticket on UConn plus 850 or plus 900, and then I also had Gonzaga plus 1200 in that game. So we still got the UConn ticket going live. I hope it hits. That'd be really awesome. Like small little payday for the way this draft fell. I mean, I'm shocked that I was able to get it when I did at those odds. Now it's just like, of course, A few days later, it's just so close. Same with the women's. I have 2 women's tickets that are in play. They'll talk about in a minute. But going back to the games, so starting on Thursday, Michigan State lost to Kansas State in a really awesome game. Marquise Noel had, I can't remember if it's the game before or the game after, but Marquise Noel had a really, really awesome, I'm pretty sure it was against the, what do you call it? I think it was against Michigan State Spartans. I could be wrong, though. I was talking to my buddy Rowan about it Friday. Marquise Noel had a really awesome game. UConn beats Arkansas, blew them the hell out. Florida Atlantic upset Tennessee, and then Gonzaga won by 3 against UCLA, which was really awesome. And then that led into San Diego State beat Alabama, which was one of the bigger shockers. Miami beat Houston, which was an insane shocker. Creighton beat Princeton, which didn't have too many people surprised, but there's still some hope let out. And Texas beat Xavier by 12. I think Xavier's legs just got to him a little bit. That led into Saturday, where Florida Atlantic comes out on top. Their depth prevailed, and they will play San Diego State in the Final Four. They beat Kansas State by a score of 3. And then UConn versus Gonzaga. Man, if you stayed up for that Saturday night, am I sorry for you? Because I did too. And they lost by 31. Okay, no, they lost by I think 18, but it was a 31-point game at one point. Blowout City. That's why. Oh, wait, I'm dumb. They lost by 28. I thought I read the number wrong. I'm like, man, 18? I'm like, they must have went on a real big run towards the end. No, they lost by 28. Absolute blown out. Awesome job by UConn. Creighton, and then I would lead the Sunday. San Diego State escapes with the 1-point victory over Creighton after a foul. That was clearly a foul, but everyone was hoping for a make shot or overtime, so that just kind of stunk. And then Miami beats Texas by 7 to pull away at the end. They were down 12 at 1 point, but they were able to pull away to reach the Final Four. So that sets up the table for these 4. I showed you the favorites. I think my personal pick, I like San Diego State, but because Florida Atlantic's the dog, I'm going to go Florida Atlantic. San Diego State's defense has been insane. They've been holding teams to 50, and they've just been scraping by with wins. I see this game similar to Tennessee game. I think San Diego State's defense might be slightly better than Tennessee's, if that, and Florida Atlantic was able to beat them. So I'm going to trust Florida Atlantic's offense to make it reach a national title game for the first time in program history. And then on the other side, Dan Hurley coming into the March Madness 0-2 or 0-3, running the table now, has 1 game away from Final Four. We saw the odds move live. They went from 240 to minus 230 to minus 235. I like UConn. Like I said, I had the future on them, though, so I'm probably going to sprinkle Miami money line. Maybe sprinkle Miami spread, but any chance I get to get UConn at a good number, I'm for sure going to take them. I'm just simply taking Miami for the hedge opportunity. I think UConn's going to win it all. They clearly have the best 1 through 5 left in the tourney. And Miami doesn't play the best of defense, so, it surprisingly didn't get them caught against Texas, but I think here soon, I think UConn's going to be able to do just enough to potentially stop them, which would be really, really awesome. So I'm going to lead that into the women's. As you can see, for the women's real quick, I'll touch on this briefly. We got LSU versus Virginia Tech, and then South Carolina versus Iowa. I'm for sure taking the Iowa plus 11.5. That's a huge number. I understand South Carolina's really, really good, but they're -1. So I took LSU to win it all, Iowa to win it all, and I took those on March 8th. When I did, Iowa was plus 1,700, LSU was plus 2,500, and South Carolina's -195. -195. So that shows you how really good they are. It's just awesome because of the 4 teams left. I have 2 of them on a ticket, and they don't play each other. So, I'm going to be tuned into these Friday for sure. I'm not the biggest college basketball watcher when it comes to the women's side. I went to a few games at my college, obviously, because our women's team was really good, and it was awesome to watch them play. But when it comes to TV, I'm not the biggest college watcher, but you'll definitely probably see me tune in for these games. Going to take LSU for sure. Iowa, probably take their spread, but it's probably where I'm going to end it for today. Like I said, I'm a little sick, so I'm not going to have the longest episode. I'm trying to get a little bit healthy. But like I said, I really like Lamar's chances to come to the Colts. I really hope he does. That's the biggest news of the day. I'm really, really hoping out for it, but we'll see. You know how the NFL can be. But yeah, Thursday we'll go over Thursday I'm basically going to just talk about March Madness probably the whole time because it's the last weekend of college basketball, and I'll touch on the maybe touch on the national championship potential game. But thank you everybody for watching. I'll see everybody on Thursday for another episode of the JC Pod, and thanks everyone for tuning in.